Give me a stroke. Give me some game. Strokes Game Podcast.
All right, Strokes Gain Podcast brought to you by 14 Sticks. That's 14-sticks.com. Use the promo code StrokesGain for 10% off your entire order. We are here. Well, it's really just me and Eric this time. Last week we tried to get in an episode, or 2 weeks ago, and the audio didn't record. Kind of what you need for a podcast to be successful.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, so Eric, a.k.a. @member4a day on Instagram. If anybody listening doesn't follow this guy, top-notch quality photos of ridiculous golf courses. Great content, love the stuff. So let's just start off by introducing yourself, how you got into the game, and then we will go from there.
Yeah, for sure. So I picked up the game, I guess, sort of late, around sort of like mid-teenager years, I think, kind of right around the time Tiger was starting to crush it. I think really the catalyst for me was that I was a three-sport athlete. I was playing basketball, soccer, and lacrosse, and really lacrosse started to beat my body up pretty good. I ended up herniated a disc in my neck, and realized that college sports probably wasn't going to happen, at least on a contact sports level. And around that same time, actually, my father retired, and he's a typical type A person, just was running around the house, couldn't stop moving. And my mom was finally like, get the heck out of here, go play golf. And it was like the classic line from Happy Gilmore. It's like, golf's for fat people and accountants. Like, you should go talk to my neighbor, huge ass. And but eventually he was like, you know what, I'll be outside, I'll walk around, and fell in love with the game and sort of kind of dragged me along. And then my love for it just sort of slowly took off. I think, golf is really, really hard, especially I believe for kids. And for me as a teenager, I just wanted to run around and hit people, and so to sit there and practice on my short game was just not going to happen. And
you're not the only one, bro. You're not the only one.
Yeah, I know you were a big junior golfer, and so I mean, you obviously went through that. I just can't even imagine what that's like on a 14-year-old brain.
I went from hockey to golf immediately. Like, it felt like it was overnight. I quit playing hockey when I was 15, and yeah, I mean, my nickname in high school, I went to the IJGA in Hilton Head, and they called me Happy Gilmore. And it wasn't only because I played hockey. I tested a few rigs for their durability, and yeah, had a bit of a temper.
Hopefully, you were long off the tee as well.
Bit of a temper. I was pretty long for my size. Yes, I was.
Yeah.
And luckily still maintain
Yeah.
that, but definitely cooler temperament out there. A lot more chill.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Unfortunately, you can't do that.
Sure. Well, you can. It just makes golf really hard.
Yeah, it makes golf hard. It makes it uncomfortable. It makes it uncomfortable to play with, for sure. Because I've been a part of, like, I've seen it on the other side where I'm the cool, calm, and collected one, seeing tempers, and it's just uncomfortable. Like, even though you don't mean it for, like, you don't want to make it uncomfortable, it just is. You're just like, oh, no.
I know. What an amazing way to see someone's personality, right? Spend 5 hours playing a really difficult game with them. I mean, you're going to know who they are as a person.
Yep.
You're going to know their demeanor. You're going to know how they handle ups and downs. Are they celebrating? Are they staying cool, calm, and collected? It's just such an indication of sort of future success.
It is. I wonder if there's a statistic of that. If, like, how many business deals have been done, or how many jobs have been gotten or promoted just after a round of golf. I wish there was a statistic for that. I guarantee it for sure. But jobs lost, or deals lost. Like,
I can tell you that in the future, I will certainly, as part of my interview process, be taking candidates out on golf
yep,
course. That'll be my final round interview.
yep. So, do you play golf? No. All right. Well, thanks for your time. See
Hey,
you later.
you can always learn, right? And I think it's funny that you say that because if I invite people out and they're like, "Oh, I don't, I'm really bad," I'm like, "Are you fun to be around?" And if you can't hit the ball, do you just like pick up and move on? They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Great." Like, I don't
Yeah,
care. I don't care if you shoot 300. Just keep on moving and have a smile and a good attitude. And to me, that's so much more important
yeah,
than someone who's shooting 75. I could really care less after a
yeah,
while.
yeah. It's so much. I mean, obviously, it's fun to watch and fun to play with somebody that can go low. But
Yeah.
if it's like playing with a stick figure, you're just
Yep.
like, okay, well, nice round. I didn't really get to know you, but yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's very important to. It's a very very good skill to have, and definitely a good place to get to know somebody better for sure.
Yeah. And I don't know how you feel about this, but for me, competitive golf is in my opinion kind of the same vein in the sense that I used to play in these state amateur events and I'd be in a pairing with two other guys and they just wouldn't talk to me. And I'm like, what am I doing here? Like I'm playing golf with two other guys who aren't even speaking to me. Like this isn't fun.
No,
And so personally, I only play in 4-ball tournaments now, at least at that state level, because at least then I get to hang out with my buddy.
yeah,
I play with my fraternity brother. We have a blast. If I duck hook one out of bounds, he can get one in play, still make par, and we're good. And so it's less stressful. I get socialized. To me, things like that are the future of golf.
it should
Not
be.
this isolated, no talking for 5 hours.
Yeah, it should be, and it's very true. I mean, tournament golf is definitely a different animal, but and there's different levels to tournament golf. Like at
Yeah.
an amateur level and all that, yeah, I get it. You're spending out there, spending money, you want to compete and all that stuff, but it doesn't need to be so
Right.
like you can cut the
Ego.
tension.
It's ego.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
Right.
you
There's
got
no
to keep
money
that to
involved. Who
yourself.
cares?
Keep that to yourself inside.
Exactly.
Don't exude.
I mean,
Stay away from me or don't talk to
yeah. I
me.
mean, yeah. I mean, the last tournament I played in, some guy was complaining because I was breathing too loud in his backswing.
That's
I mean,
see,
that's
that's come on,
at that point,
come on.
I'm good.
You're
Yeah,
not,
I'm
yeah,
good, man. Like I don't need to be here.
no way. Oh, I would have coughed. I would
It's
have done
that
something.
ego Division One golfer who hits it 320, and as soon as he gets on tilt, it just
Yeah,
comes awry quickly. And I'm sitting here just putting the ball in play, 270 out there, and plodding along, getting up and down for par, and it just drives him crazy. And it was match play, so and that's the
that'll
stuff I
drive you
love.
crazy.
But those stories are for a different podcast, I think.
Oh, dude, that's for breathing too loud. Like I don't even if someone was, you can't. I wouldn't let that affect me so much to where I had to get like I got to the point
It
to
was
where I would
young,
say something.
yeah.
Like
I,
really?
it's Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but when it comes to the competitive side of golf, I have this feeling that about a third of the field, at least on the amateur level, about a third of the field is not mentally prepared. So I basically only have to be, maybe about a half to 2/3 of the field.
It's
And so
true. Yeah.
I remember the days when I would look at the forecast and it would be rain. It's going to rain for the tournament. To me, I'm like, this is great because I know that at least 50% of the field is going to be throwing clubs. The club's going to be slipping. They're going to be complaining. And the fact of the matter is, the beauty of the game is we're all playing the same course. And
Yep.
so I remember those were the rounds, at least in competition, that I felt like I could compete more because I felt like my greatest strength was my mind, and that I could just you know, if you're playing in rain, you're not going to strike the ball every time.
Right.
But if I could just keep plodding along, keep the ball in play, and just grit out pars, it just felt like I had more of a chance, I guess.
That's good. That's a good mentality to have, especially competition wise. I mean, it's everybody's probably heard it. If you've played the game for more than a month, you're not playing the other people you're playing the golf course, and everybody's got to play in the same conditions and all that stuff. Took me a little bit too long to realize that, but yeah, I'm at where I'm at right now. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I play the golf
Now I
course.
just play recreation golf. It's a lot more fun.
So we are both, well, John is not here. John and I did something recently 2 weeks ago. And I believe you're in the middle of something or it's just coming to a close soon. Done some charity work. I've done some charity work in the past. Like 2 years ago, I did my own golf marathon down here in Boca. I walked 54 holes, raised some money for St. Jude's. And yeah, that was a grind. It was at Boca Municipal. Walked the whole way. I was on I was in on Instagram Live almost the whole time. So I had experience with it. And John and I I was supposed to actually play with another friend, but he just couldn't do it. And I hit up John. He was like, "Yeah, let's go." Now he's in New York. I'm in Jupiter, Florida. We decided to drive to Myrtle Beach. I left at 4 a.m., got there around 2, went straight to the driving range at the Dunes Club, which actually I have the hat on right now. And we played 18, walked. Next day we played 64 holes. We rode in the morning and walked the rest. And then the third day it was really bad out before like 11 a.m. Then we went out and played the Die course and the Love course at Barefoot. Walked, and it was awesome.
How many holes in total?
118. 118 in 2.5 days with a 6-hour rain delay. We literally played from sun up to sundown on the second day there. And
all I can say is it's a good thing that you and John have smooth swings.
Yeah, right?
That's all I can say.
You got to keep some gas in the tank. The first round we were just like, all right, we're just going to pace ourselves. We'll play in 2.5 hours, go get lunch, and then go play up at Barefoot because we knew we had the entire course to ourselves. The Fazio course at Barefoot, they were doing maintenance on in the morning, and then they were closing it for the rest of the day. And they were like, you know what? You guys just go out there as a 2-ball, play as many holes as you want. We played 46 holes. And then, yeah, that was probably the best sleep I've gotten in a long time. especially because the weather the next day was supposed to be bad in the morning. We saw it. We were like, all right, good. I'm sleeping till 11:30.
Yep.
And we got to play the Die. Then we got to play the Love. Ended on Love at around 7:45. The best part was the Instagram Live. We went live almost the whole time. Almost every back nine of every round. And we had a bunch of people placing bets as donations. Like, okay, you guys go. Like a good buddy of mine, his name on Instagram is I Am Barefoot Dave. Used to be a member at Hempstead, or he's a member at Hempstead, where I used to work. And he's like, all right, $100 minus 2 aggregate on like a par 4 or par 3. Par 5 minus 3 aggregate, I'll do 500. Two of the best moments happened within 15 minutes, and then we'll talk about your charity stuff. So we get up on 14, and there's these 2 people in front of us on the Love course, father and a daughter. They're just out there. I think they lived on the property, or they were just walking. We didn't see them at all. So they let us hit up on them and play through. And John goes over to the guy. He's like, yeah, we're just playing a golf marathon. We're trying to play as many holes as we possibly can. And we're raising money and blah, blah, blah. And the father goes, hey, can I donate? We were like, yeah, sure. Guy slapped a 20 in our hand. He goes, thank you very much. Where can I find it? Where can I follow it? Boom. That's it. I was just like, could you imagine if there were more people out here and that knew about what we were doing? It was one of the coolest moments I've ever experienced on a golf course. Just the guy, here's 20. Thank you. And then the very next hole, Johnny on the par 3, he was asking, he's like, oh, so Davis Love designed this course. And then there was a joke. It was Courtney Love. It was Kevin Love. So we're on the par 3, and I was like, how about a little Kevin Love here? Like dunk or swish from downtown. He's like, oh, hole in one? I was like, yeah. So Barefoot Dave put up $500 for a hole in one, and John hit the flag stick on a bounce.
Oh my
It did
God.
not leave the flag stick. It's up on YouTube, on my YouTube page. Did not leave the flag stick, and I'm like, oh my God. Bounces
That's
6
good.
feet before the flag, hits about 3 feet above the hole, and rolls out to about 3.5 feet. I have never seen. First off, John's gonna kill me for this, but I have never seen John hit a golf shot that good.
He needs to be under more pressure more
No, he's
often.
for real. That every time we went live, like when we weren't live,
Yeah.
it was just like it was kind of boring. But when we went live, it brought out some of the best ball striking I've ever seen out of the either of us. It was so
Yeah, you
much
got to
fun.
step up, right? You know there's an audience.
Yes,
I know that feeling.
it was
It's a
so
great
much
feeling.
fun. Now, okay, so we raised around 6,000, a little bit more than $6,000 in less than 6 days.
Nice.
Just
And where is it going?
going to COVID relief in New York. We're going to donate most of it to the Met PGA Foundation,
Okay.
but they're going to distribute it to different relief organizations up there.
Awesome.
Just because we know where the money's going. Jeff's going to handle it instead of us searching for something because we don't know. They do a lot more charity work. There's a Feeding America in Westchester where the Met PGA is headquarters are. So it's going to them.
Awesome.
But yeah, so yeah, I was a former member of the Met section, the best section. Johnny's up there. I miss it. I miss the tournaments. I miss the golf.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to the Met PGA Foundation.
Awesome.
You got something going on.
Yeah, man. So, you had
Cheers
you
to
had
that.
reached out to me about this marathon, and because I'm quarantined in Hilton Head right now, and I said I'm in, and for a variety of reasons, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And I was pretty gutted, to be honest, because I really wanted to help, and I guess just this sort of malaise of quarantine, you sometimes get to thinking, and some thoughts, I guess, are better than others. But I was just basically trying to figure out how I can help. And generally speaking, when in times of need, I like to be kind of like what you guys did, like actually out there doing stuff, or even more so, like actually delivering meals to people. And I've done a bunch of hurricane relief work down in the Virgin Islands after Hurricanes Irma and Maria. It's just some of the most incredible, fulfilling work I've ever done in my life. But just given the nature of this, it just wasn't in the cards for me. And so I was just trying to figure out how I can help. And, one thing that I do have is a pretty strong network in golf and a relatively decent following on Instagram. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to start reaching out to my network. And I just started hitting up assistant pros, head pros, directors of golf, people on boards of directors of golf courses, members, and literally you name it. And just reaching out and saying, hey, would you be interested in donating a round of golf? I'm going to be auctioning them off, and the proceeds are going to COVID relief. Sort of at the same time, I was researching charities, and so I understand why you ended up giving it to the Met PGA, because it is quite complicated. And I went through and spoke to a variety of charities. I ended up partnering with a group called Project Frontline, which was founded by Allie LaForce, who's a sports reporter for TNT, and her husband is a pitcher for the Astros. Their organization
Nice.
Really quickly buys meals from local restaurants at above cost, so they actually make some money, they can hire staff, and then delivers them to area hospitals to feed frontline hospital workers. So it was just really spot on, exactly what I was looking to do. And so for about 3 weeks, I just peppered my network until I got to a point where I felt like I had enough. And just for the record, I was going after pretty much the only public course I have on the auction is Sweetens Cove, just because I love Tad and Rob and everything about Sweetens.
I haven't been there
Everything
yet.
else, yeah, that's just the best. But everything else is not only private, but we're talking about like the best.
Dude, some of the golf courses I've seen on there. I mean, I named off a few just because I recognized the holes that you put up on. I know Sleepy was there, West Hampton, that par 3 along the water.
Yep.
That course is sick.
Yeah, but I mean, we got Friars, we got Shitty. I mean, it's crazy. And so
that's awesome.
You know, so we got, I think when I launched, and I might be kind of wrong with these numbers, but I think when I launched, I probably had about 20 courses. And I just put it on Insta, put it on a site, and I just basically figured, let's see what happens. And by day one, I think I have the numbers correct. My goal was 50,000 in 1 week. In 24 hours, we had raised over 12,000, I think. And the most amazing part was that I started to get DMs from people wanting to pitch in, people I've never met before, who are members of golf courses all over the country, who saw what I was doing and wanted to be a part of it. And so that 20 golf courses or so that I launched with quickly turned into about 40. So about somewhere around half of the courses were added afterwards. And so it's been a lot of work, but it's been extraordinarily fulfilling. The auction, obviously this podcast is going to go up after it's over, but as we're talking right now, the auction ends in 4 hours. Actually, it ends at 9:00 tonight. Last I checked, we are 130% to goal. We've raised something around $65,000.
That's awesome. And that's just from people bidding on these rounds, right? At these different places.
And and you know, some of these they're not just rounds, some of their experiences. Like Friars Head is, I think it's 36 holes plus on-site accommodations plus dinner. I mean, these are like once in a lifetime experiences. Yeah. So I mean, last I checked, I think the Friars Head was well over $7,000.
Yeah, I looked it up. I checked it out. I was like, oh
yeah,
my God.
Yeah, we're getting to some crazy levels. But you know, I think listen, it's a combination of things, right? First, you know, I think it's that people obviously are dying to play these courses, but when you put a charitable cause to it in a time of need, it just, I think people's wallets open up a lot easier. And it's been a really, really interesting and exciting past 3 weeks. Like I said, I've been working pretty much nonstop, answering people's emails, doing all kinds of social media posts just to keep the bidding going. And you know, I think most interesting to me is that sort of more on a macro level, if you think about the nonprofit sector, a lot of people do charity golf outings. And due to COVID, a lot of the courses are canceled, or I should say closed, or not allowing guest play, or not allowing outings at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I've actually had several nonprofits reach out to me to ask if I could replicate my model for them,
nice.
to basically make up for lost revenue. So some really interesting opportunities are coming, and yeah, man, it's been awesome. And funny enough, I'm living on a golf course. I haven't even played in like 2 weeks.
Huh.
I've been so busy with this, and
That's
been like,
good.
It is good.
That's good.
Except not for my short game. But the auction ends tonight. Obviously this will air later, but
I'll try to get it up beforehand. That was actually a perfect segue into something I wanted to talk about, because I also started up a nonprofit. I've been doing some research for the last, 18 months. So November of 2018 is when I came up with this idea. I just think the golf industry can be a little bit more proactive when it comes to sustainability. as far as
Environmental.
yes, as far as that,
Totally.
it has nothing to do with like superintendents or anything like that. It's just golf as a community, like when dealing with waste, recycling, solar power,
Mm.
all this stuff that I mean, it's so much, and I've sort of dedicated little by little, a little bit of every day to just do
Mhm.
some research and due diligence and all that stuff. The main goal would be to partner with the PGA of America and hopefully the PGA Tour. The company's called Keeping It Green,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna pretty much do business as Going for the Green. It was taken, so I had to do Keeping It Green. But
Yep.
yeah, basically that's the gist of it. I do run a charity event at PGA National every year. Last year I did it. It was the first year. I mean, I think I had like 4 months to get it filled. Anybody who has run a golf tournament or a charity event, 4 months
It's a
is
ton of work.
yeah, it is a ton of work. We got 16 groups, I believe, which was a pretty good turnout. I
Yeah.
was supposed to have 22 this year in April, but obviously got canceled.
Yep.
We postponed it to September, so we'll see where the social distancing guidelines are at. But yeah, it'll be a PGA National, the Champ course.
Should be good by then, by September. I mean,
Yeah,
Florida seems to be opening up at this point.
yeah, everything's opening up this week. It's just barring another outbreak or whatever.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah. Yep.
People aren't. I mean, we were in Myrtle Beach, dude. Nobody is taking any caution there. But I mean, rightfully so. The Horry County, where we were, huge county, they had 300 confirmed cases. So I get it, but again,
Still. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, as far as the whole the keeping it green, where I was going with this is I talked to Brian Kroll, who is the former president of the Met PGA. Really good. And he also broadcasts for CBS Sports, has a Sirius XM radio show every Wednesday night. He's been sort of a mentor to me, and I've just bounced ideas off of him. He's given me feedback, and I was on his show last year, and he told me to bring in some statistics. And the one thing that definitely stands out is the PGA Tour as a whole and their charitable donations is more than all other four major sports combined with their charitable donations. So golf
Yeah.
is all about just giving back. And as far as this nonprofit goes, now my goal would obviously to be raise some money for the PGA and all this stuff, but I also want to help grow the game. So anything that's donated or given to the nonprofit is not only going to go towards sustainability and all that stuff, but things like the First Tee program, Volition, Folds of Honor, all that stuff. So that's what
Yep.
that's one of the main, or I guess the secondary things that I have going on with that. But it is a lot of work. It's a
Yeah. That
lot of
sounds like a
work.
lot of work.
The website is goingforthegreen.golf. It will be up, fully running on Sunday.
Nice.
And here you could probably give me some feedback. So the idea is to form a membership or a community. Okay, there'll be an annual fee where you're committing, okay, I'm going to be a green golfer. Now, when you register and you become a member, every month there will be a drawing for equipment, apparel, balls, just a bonus to sort of be like a perk of being, hey, you want a dozen balls, what's your address here's your whatever equipment. You also get a free 24-ounce tumbler, which is going towards the sustainability. You fill your own drink, you don't got to throw anything
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And then I'm also trying to partner with some resorts for like a grand prize every year, for a 3-day, 2-night stay with 2 rounds of golf for 2. And this is just the basics of the whole
Yeah.
program. And as a green golfer, you commit to donate a certain amount per hole played I don't know if you don't play a lot of golf, it might be per bogey, whatever it is. Could be 10 cents. So I'm gonna actually start doing it next month. Every round I play, every bogey I make, I'll throw in $1. Every birdie I make, I'll throw in $1. Every hole I play, 10 cents. Whatever. Just to start it and sort of show people what it's all about. And the more, obviously, the more you donate, the better chances you have. It's like a giveaway on Instagram. That's about. But yeah, the better chance you have at winning all these different prizes. I'm still working on it, but I just want. They've said people are going to open up their wallets. They're going to want something in return. So
For sure. I think, obviously getting a partner corporate sponsor like Waste Management, and everything they've done with the Waste Management Open, that would be very, very helpful for your cause.
Right.
That would certainly be how I would spend the majority of my time is trying to get a lead sponsor like that.
That's where I went. I went to them first. I went to their website and tried to fill out something, but they thought that I was asking for money for them instead of like, hey, I want to run some ideas by you and sort of make this like the golf part of Waste Management where we can bounce ideas off of each other. Because listen, we've been to PGA Tour events, we've been to different tour events. There's a green bag and a blue bag, but if I'm 6 beers deep, I'm not paying attention to what bag I'm throwing my Mick Ultra bottle in. There's a plug. But I just think that there could be some more strict procedures as far as the golf industry. And I feel like they're kind of missing out on a little bit of an opportunity. Now, have you ever been to the Bahamas?
Yeah, but not for a while, and I haven't played golf there.
Okay, the Royal Blue at Baha Mar.
I know you love that place.
Dude, unbelievable. And my favorite part about it was actually the fact that I played with these two pretty famous comedians. It was just me and them two. Awesome time. Blasting music, just not giving a crap about what the hell's going on. But they give you a tumbler with your round. You get it?
Yeah.
It's yours to keep. They have solar panels on top of the golf carts. So they're solar powered, so obviously you're using less energy to charge the carts overnight. That was actually something I pitched the first time I talked to Brian Kroll about this was solar power, tumblers, and more recycling. Yeah. And they have it. They have it.
I have seen reusable, with COVID, who the heck knows? But I have been to a couple private courses, very few, that at the first tee they have kind of like sports athletic water bottles that you could just fill up and grab, which I love that. It's the minority. But it's funny because just given that we're talking about the environment and everything too, it's kind of switching it over to sort of like golf course architecture a little bit. I was just walking around the golf course the other day. I've just been doing late afternoon walks. And I look at these areas, especially in par threes, where it's like, sure, every now and then someone like chunks one. But that majority of space between the tee box and the green, let's call it, whether it's a 150-yard hole, let's say 100 yards of green space that needs water, fertilizer, and everything else, which is basically never used. Man, can't we turn those into just waste areas with sand like what Pinehurst did? Like, not only does it look better, it uses less water, less fertilizer, that's less money for the club, that's more profit. Like, to me, that is just the simplest thing. And I am in no means a superintendent. I am no means a golf designer or architect, but I just feel like that is just such a simple initiative that more golf courses need to do to make the world a better place.
I do agree. You could, for the sandy areas and the waste areas definitely do look a lot better, especially the way you photograph it.
I know I need that contrast, right? When it's all green,
you might not
really take
exactly.
Photo.
Okay, it is. I've tried to take pictures and stuff, and it does. It just makes taking a picture so much easier when you have that between you and the green, so the green stands out. And then, screw the environment. Let's just make it better for pictures. I'm just kidding.
It's funny. I think that's part of the reason why, and it's been a long time since I've been out there, but why I love desert golf so much is just the contrast.
I still haven't played in Arizona or out there.
Yeah, the contrast is just as stark as it gets for photography, right? I mean, you have that crazy desert landscape, sometimes even the mountains and rocks with this
Yeah.
ultra green grass because it's so sunny every damn day, just like Palm Springs and Palm Desert area too. For me, those golf courses photograph probably better than anywhere in the world.
And going along with that, like getting rid of some grass, you could one of the ideas, because a lot of golf courses don't like how garbage pails look and all that stuff.
Mm.
Have you been to Piping Rock? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I caddied there in the Met Open last summer for Max
Dude.
Grazerman.
The garbage pails and the recycling bins are buried underground. Did you notice that?
I did not know that. I
Yes.
did not know that.
I think
I was probably too worried about dropping his head covers to realize about anything else.
I think it's every 3 or 4 holes they have garbage
Wow.
pails buried in the ground. So all you do is you could literally pick it up with your club or your foot, open it up and throw it in there so it doesn't look like there's trash everywhere.
I got to tell you, after going to Discoveryland properties and opening up those hidden Casamigos ones, if I opened it up and it was garbage, I'd be pretty damn disappointed.
Yeah, that'd be.
But from an environmental perspective, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, well, Kroll was the director of golf at Silo Ridge.
Right.
And
I remember, yeah.
We had the Squire Cup in 2018. It's met PGA head pros versus assistant pros. They take the top 10 and you go and play like a Ryder Cup style. Bro, Silo Ridge, that whole experience. It's never
on
been.
my auction. It's up.
Yes, there you go.
Thank you to Silo.
It's not that you're gonna go there and play in a 6-hour round. It took us 6 hours because we were getting the whole tour while we were playing matches.
You're stuck in the comfort station for 30 minutes every 3 holes.
Exactly. We're making food. We're using a fire pit on the 12th tee. Like, yep, go ahead. This isn't well enough. Could you cook it more? You got it. You guys are on the tee. Go ahead. Whatever. Go ahead, dude. I've never been more satisfied with a 6-hour round of golf in my life.
I remember the first time I played at a Discoveryland property was at Mountaintop, which is up in Cashiers, North Carolina, which is, in my opinion, actually probably the most underrated golf destination on earth. No one's ever heard of it. It's basically like where wealthy Atlantans go in the summer because it gets so hot. It's basically just like approximately 3 hours due north up in the mountains. And I remember a few things about Mountaintop. First and foremost, the golf is incredible. But like, we could have a whole conversation about that.
Yeah.
But specifically relating to Discovery properties, I remember that we were on the range and the member asked if we wanted something. We said, yeah, like, we'll grab a couple sandwiches. So on the first tee, and I'm like about to hit, I'm like doing my routine, stepping up. All of a sudden, I see a guy walk out of the woods, seemingly in the middle of nowhere, in a suit and tie with 2 bags. And I'm like, kind of wave him over. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, here's your food, sir. Dropped it off and then just disappeared right back into the woods.
Crazy.
I was like, okay.
Crazy.
Let me tell you, the sandwich and the potato chips were the best I've ever had in my life. They make their own potato chips. They're incredible. Then 3 holes later, we go to the comfort station.
Draws
my
full
mind is blown. There's 200 types of candy. I remember opening up one drawer, all Klondike bars. Nothing else but Klondike bars. I was like, that's the best drawer I've ever opened in my life. But then the best was on the 10th tee box. I mean, right next to it, like you could pretty much just lean over and grab it. They had a sort of like an outdoor kind of barbecue grill area with a chef with like those big white hats on and everything, making bacon wrapped scallops.
Yep.
And John Daly's with Grey Goose.
Yep. Unbelievable.
I mean,
I'm gonna try to get this up. I'm gonna try to get this up before your auction's over. If you guys are listening to this, go to Member for a Day on Instagram. That's the number 4.
Link in bio.
And just check out the golf courses he's got on his list. Because any Discoveryland, even Dormy Network, those places are sick too. And
Dormy Network, they've been so generous. They donated a 1-year full no restriction membership, so you could be a member of 6 courses. It's like $5,200, $5,300 right now. The last time I checked in the auction, to be a member of 6 courses for a year. That's the greatest deal I've ever heard of, and they're all like top 100, either classic or modern.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm excited to see where that goes in the next few hours. But yeah, I think if nothing else, talking about the auction, I just can't say thank you enough to everyone who's donated around, who's shared something on Instagram, who sent me a message to thank me or to offer advice. For everyone who's been, just the whole network, the whole Instagram golf community, as I was hoping for, has rallied around a wonderful cause. And, a lot of social media is negative, but the Instagram golf community is not. It is friendly. It is open. We take care of each other. And we're raising a ton of money to feed New York City hospital workers who are battling every day.
That's awesome.
To keep us safe. So yeah, thank you.
I don't know how much you're going to get out of that short game lesson with Alec Beach.
I don't know, man. That guy's got some pretty nice stuff.
I've played with him 3 times. I've played with him 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
And?
I don't know how much you're going to get out of that short game lesson.
Well, we certainly had it last year, so hopefully we can rekindle the magic.
No, he's awesome. He's one of my favorite people to play golf with, and I still haven't. I don't think I've played with. You have LeBritz on there too, right? Again,
Yeah.
2 members of the Met section, the best section. How you doing? But yeah, I mean, dude, I can honestly sit here and talk like we did last time forever. We will definitely do this again, and we will definitely do some sort of where we actually get to play together.
Yeah.
Some sort of marathon, whatever. We'll figure something out for sure, because we both love the game, and if we can play and help out, then I'm more than willing to do it. I know you are too. At member4a-day, the number 4 on Instagram. Eric, much appreciated. Thanks for doing this again. All right, be good. See ya.
Give me a stroke. Give me some game. Strokes Game Podcast.